Hey, this is Jamie, and I just got done putting together my turntable for my airbrush setup. Makes it really easy to paint your models. Here's the finished product. I can set my styrofoam or whatever base I want to use on top of it. I can even put the models directly onto the turntable. And as I paint it, it gives you the freedom to actually rotate it in 360 degrees to get to different angles. And it basically really speeds up your airbrushing. Also allows you to not have to touch and handle your models while you're brushing it. So in this video, we're going to put this together. I do have to warn you, I kind of messed up originally on it, but I got it straightened out and put it together. Something simple. If I can put it together, pretty much anybody can. Just takes a little bit of time, and yeah, just don't do it like I do and slap it together. But hey, it seems to work okay. All right, let's see how to put this thing together. All right, here we are. We're going to build the airbrush turntable today. I've got all my pieces laid out, and you're going to have to excuse me while I adjust the camera. I'm trying the head-mounted camera again. And I'm just going to do this on my garage floor. I've got the main piece, which is the Lazy Susan piece. Again, you can pick these things up at the majority of your hardware stores. And this is what makes it work. It makes it turn. So you see, you can turn 360 degrees with it and keep on turning. There's ball bearings inside of it that makes it easy to turn. Something to keep in mind, this is actually two pieces, and it does kind of affect how you install it. The pieces with the holes closest to the center should be the bottom piece, will connect to your base, and the pieces with the holes closer to the outside is going to be your top piece. We're going to make it a little bit easier. The piece I'm using for the top is a little bit too thin. If I can pick it up here. Too thin for the screws that came with it, and trying to find shorter screws, I'm afraid it's just not going to work out how I want it, and it's going to cause some issues later on. It's not going to be secure. So I'm going to start again with the Lazy Susan piece. I'm going to put a piece on top of this, which is actually going to screw, which the top is going to screw into. Already mounted the center point on it, which was just a piece of scrap wood I had left over from making the base, which is, again, all came from a piece of scrap wood, plywood, 3/4 inch plywood. To find the center point on it, I just laid my roller on each corner and made an X where the X crosses. That's the center point. I know it is 6 inches wide, and we can confirm it here. Oh, 3. Right in the middle, and it's close enough for what we're going to do with it. Again, I'm going to take this piece. Again, this is going to be the top piece. This is going to be where the top screws into, and I'm just going to go ahead and line that up. I'm going to put it where I can get the screws in it. And again, it doesn't have to be super perfect, but let's check some measurements here. So we have about 2 inches there. I'm going to check it at the top, and we're at 2 inches at the top. So we are centered enough. I'm going to take the bolts that came with it, or the wood screws. Get my screwdriver here, and I'm just going to start here. And put the first screw in. I'm going to go across diagonal and put the other one. There we go. And then I'm going to finish up with the remainder. And again, you can make this any size that you want it. This is just what I had here for stock that was basically left over from some other project I did. So why not recycle? And there we go. We now have our piece that's able to rotate around the Lazy Susan. We're now going to mount the base, and I'm going to do a very similar thing, which really I should have found this before. The center. So I'm going to cheat here. I know this is 10 inches by 10 inches. That made all right, maybe I made it a little bit shorter than 10 inches. 9.5. 3, 4. That should be the center there. Let's just see. All right. So those points, we can line it up. All right, we have our center port on this board now. I'm going to go back and double check the measurements of the Lazy Susan piece, because I don't really remember what they are. And that looks like inches, and so we'll do 3 right there. And I can actually mark on this side another 3. And again, I'm just kind of guesstimating on this one. There's our first piece in. Move it over. All right, and now I can check my measurements just to double check that I got it on centered. It's about 1.5 inches here. We're at 1 3/4 at the top. Maybe I'm a little bit off on my measurement. I didn't exactly cut it straight. But we do that. Now we're, yep. Perfect. Now that that piece is fairly centered, I'll go ahead and secure this to the base. And there we are. So we have our base, we have our top piece, which is what we can spin around. And in theory, you can use it like it is, but I'm gonna do one step farther and actually put this piece on top. So let's go ahead and roughly find the center for it. Again, I'm not looking for perfection here. I'm looking for just good enough. There we go. And I can just stick my tape measure under and measure. So we're at basically 1 inch on that side. We can go this way with it more. We're at 3 inches there. And There we go. So we have our base put in, top, and I'm just going to get some screws and run through the middle of it, and we're going to call it a day. I brought these from Ace Hardware, or you can buy it from any other hardware store. I'm loading a little bit bigger screws, so it's okay to pick up the top. And again, these are just to hold the top in. And I'll make sure I countersink it to give it a smooth surface. And actually it didn't go in now, did it? There's that one. And, you know, I think I'm messing up on this one. I don't like, it's not biting into the wood like I want it to. So I'm actually going to use a smaller screw. Actually, I'm just going to leave it like it is. I changed my mind, and that's okay. All right. And there we go. We've got it good enough for now. I'm going to actually come in and probably drill that and make these countersink a little bit better. That will be taking a countersink bit to it. But for what it is, for how I'm going to use it, is going to be okay. Yeah, it's not, the screws didn't get countersunk the way I wanted it to, but in all practicality, this is, you know, good enough. I'm going to put my model up here anyway on styrofoam or some other block, and I just use this as a way to rotate it around. And that's, in the gist of it, pretty much how it's built. The only thing I would have done differently is maybe countersink these a little bit more. I got a bit, I may finish up with that, but that is it, and we're going to call it a day. All right, so I'm back. I didn't want to leave it like it was. The screws sticking out was really kind of bothering me. So I wanted to make sure that I actually countersunk them. So I was going to go over that and add this to the video. I'm just going to remove the ones I put in, and I'm using a countersink bit. Which bores out the wood to match the angle of the screw. And I can do that. Take it in. Put it there. So now you can see it's completely countersunk in and it's flat at a flat surface. That's really what I wanted to, so what I really wanted to start with. All right, we got that one countersunk, and we'll add the screw. Perfect. This is how I envisioned it. Yeah, the one in the middle could go a little bit farther, but for the most part, I think this is good enough. It does its job. We can put our model up here. You're spray painting, and you can rotate it around. Given it that it's a flat model. Let's see, can we do that with just a screwdriver? There we go. That works great. And there it is. That's how it should be done. So there it is, and there is a completed turntable. Now all I need is a microphone, two turntables and a microphone. Just give me one turntable and an airbrush. So there you have it. And I appreciate you watching the video, and I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.